Hello everyone, this is Storm Spotter for the National Weather Service, Timothy Breault, coming to you with another weather video. I know it's been a while since I've done one. I'm sorry, I've been really busy, but I do have a little time to spare now to give you an update on the North American monsoon, the summer thunderstorm season, whatever you guys want to call it is fine by me by now. Yeah, they are summer thunderstorms associated with the wind shift that takes place every year. Okay, so let's take a look at where the monsoon high is located and troughs of low pressure, the jet stream, and what we could be looking at as we head into the month of August across the area. And I'll tell you right now, the month of August is looking very weird. Very, very uncertain, very, very weird, especially the first half of it. I'm getting several instances where I'm getting the models coming in that are saying they are persistent for the very end of July here, beginning as early as Friday across New Mexico. And they're bringing in still, it's very hard to believe, it's a very unique and odd weather pattern that we've been having this summer of bringing backdoor cold fronts in from the Central Plains. Rotating around this massive ridge of high pressure that has been located preferably for most of July over the Great Basin, which is up in this region here. This is the Great Basin, Nevada, Utah, Idaho, and parts of California. And we usually don't see that too long a period of time, maybe for a week. I don't think it's ever gone longer than 2 weeks, but it's been there since July 4th. That's right, and it hasn't moved very much. So New Mexico, I know you've been getting some rains recently, and your chances are actually looking much better for the next 2 weeks as the high gets in a position where it's going to bring more of a wind flow that's going to be favorable for getting daily chances. And I say chances, it doesn't mean it's going to rain every day over your location. Okay, it doesn't do that during the monsoon. Sometimes you can go 2 or 3 days with rain every day, off and on. And it varies from amount to amount. Sometimes it's a lot, over an inch. Sometimes it's less than a trace. It's just a few drops. It really just depends on a lot of factors. So let's take a look at what we're looking at here. This video is going to be in about 2 parts, each part between 10 and 15 minutes long. So this is part 1. And what we're looking at here is the GEFS model OOZ, July 26th, Wednesday. Oh, the OZ run, 06Z run, okay? So this is the first run that we get for the, it comes out around 10:30 to 11 o'clock p.m. Mountain Standard Time during the evening, and we will be able to look at for tomorrow what the latest models are saying. Okay, so what we're looking at is 250 millibar winds, and this is about 20,000 feet above the surface. Okay, so with this, you can see jet streams and different things. You can clearly see the northern jet here is pumping in some strong winds here over on the Canadian border through northern Michigan and parts of Wisconsin and stuff. So where's the high pressure right now? Well, it's actually in a relatively favorable position for bringing significant monsoon moisture to parts of western and northwestern New Mexico, with lesser thunderstorm activity associated with that for much of less thunderstorm activity for parts of West Texas and much of eastern New Mexico. For Arizona, we have a southerly to southwesterly flow, and that's due in part by this area of low pressure off the northwest California coast. That tends to bring a drier flow of air into Arizona, and that's exactly what it's been doing. Today was a very quiet day. It's been a very active 2 weeks across Arizona and parts of New Mexico, Colorado, Utah, and Nevada. Even parts of southwestern California has gotten in on the act recently with the monsoon flow. And I'll tell you, Tucson has had 4 to 8 inches of rain over the last 2 weeks. Phoenix has seen anywhere between as little as a half an inch to as much as 4 inches of rain. Now, where I reside, I've had about a little over 2 inches so far this month, and that's above average by about an inch. Some areas to my east, just a few miles from me, have seen 3 to 4 inches of rain. That's almost 2 to 2.5, almost 3 inches above normal. The average monthly rainfall in Phoenix for the month of July is a little over an inch at 1.07 inches of rain. So we've done well in just 2 weeks for the month of July so far. So how long is the break pattern going to last for Arizona right now? Well, New Mexico, you're not going to be much of a break, at least for the next 2 weeks. You're not going to see much of a break. The only exception would be Wednesday and Thursday, where the high will temporarily be situated over most of New Mexico. But you have to factor in, we're going to have backdoor cold fronts, with the first one arriving Thursday night through Friday, another one Saturday night through Monday. And these backdoor cold fronts are going to come in around the high over New Mexico, or just north of New Mexico. By that time, it will be over the Great Basin again. And it's going to produce, the jet stream is going to lower a little bit, causing a troughing here. You can see a little bit of troughing already evident around this high pressure here, here in New England and upper state New York in Pennsylvania. But we're going to see a troughing here, and that's going to bring cold fronts around these low pressure systems. We're going to see troughing here in the Midwest, Great Lakes region, sagging south a little bit with time. And this high is going to move up here into Utah and circulate around. This feature here is going to move north into Canada and open the door again for Arizona to get more monsoon moisture. But New Mexico, you're going to be the prime location, especially areas around Albuquerque, for the next 2 weeks. So when is your rain really going to start picking up? Well, you've noticed a little bit of an increase today here on July 25th, 2017, and that trend is likely to continue. So let's go out in time a little bit and see what we got going on. Okay, so this is for today, for tomorrow, excuse me. You can see the high pressure is located here over southeastern New Mexico, or the Texas Panhandle area, Oklahoma Panhandle area. This is going to bring a dry flow initially into Arizona, so not much rain for Arizona for at least the next 48 hours or so. So we're on a temporary break, but a bigger break could be coming. I'll explain that coming up as we head into August. After about August 2nd, it looks like a major monsoon break will occur, but will affect mainly southwestern California, Nevada, Utah, and Arizona, and not so much of New Mexico. New Mexico, your chances of rain are actually looking better, as the monsoon plume will be shifted more over New Mexico as we head into the first 1 to 2 weeks of August. So that will give areas like Albuquerque, southwestern New Mexico, and eastern New Mexico better chances of monsoon downpours. Arizona's been getting most of it. Now it's shifting. But how long will that shift last? No one knows for sure. All right, so let's go a little further out in time here and see what we got going on here on this model run, the 06Z run for Wednesday morning across the area. We'll go out to about 48 hours from now and just see where exactly this high pressure is located across the area. And you can kind of see it's elongated. This is a west-east trough or east-west trough. And you can, high pressure system with some embedded troughs in it. You can see them. They're all over here. There's one here in the Great Lakes region. That one won't affect the area or New Mexico. But this one is going to draw a backdoor cold front with a fast flow coming in. All right, this is for Friday now. This is 48 hours out, and you can see there's a fast flow of air over southwestern New Mexico. And that's going to give these areas, southeast Arizona, central Arizona, with a little bit of a jet stream here. So we could be looking at some pretty robust thunderstorms here in south central Arizona. Not much rain probably for Albuquerque on Friday, but that doesn't mean it won't rain at all. There's going to be areas of rainfall. There always is during the monsoon season. So how long is this little pattern going to stick around? Let's go out to 84 hours now and see where the high is going to be located and what is going on across the region. And this is what we got here. You can currently see that the high pressure is going to be over the Oklahoma Panhandle, or North Texas, okay, extreme northern Texas. And we still got this jet stream that's to the north. That will start to bring a little bit of a southerly flow into California. So maybe some thunderstorms for you guys as well. And this is going to be, I believe, if I'm correct, this is, what day is this here? Let's see what day this is. This is Saturday, a day after. You can see the high is in a decent location, especially with a backdoor cold front coming from the plains into New Mexico. with a nice southeasterly flow. Yeah, about 20 to 30 knots of southeasterly winds coming into the area in the mid and upper levels. That is a good time for you guys to be getting rain in Albuquerque and parts of southwestern New Mexico. Very decent flow of air coming in to bring some substantial rainfall. We're talking 1, 2, 3, even 4 inches, especially in the mountains, with the lowlands receiving as much as 2 or 3 inches of rain in some isolated spots. So chances of rain are looking better here for New Mexico. And during this time, like I said, our first backdoor cold front is going to be on Thursday night, Friday. The second one, Saturday night into Sunday, in through early Monday time period. But again, some of this moisture will affect Arizona, but it's going to be primarily southeast Arizona, Tucson. These areas are going to get pretty wet from this cycle, which will begin late Thursday night and last through at least early Tuesday before we start drying out for probably quite a while across at least Arizona and California and much of Nevada and Utah. But the moisture plume looks to shift. Again, this is my latest models, and we're almost a week out here at this point, so you got to be careful when forecasting. These models can change very abruptly, and I will keep you guys updated. But right now, it's a 50-50 chance that the moisture could stay over Arizona and California and New Mexico, or there's a 50% chance that we're going to go on a pretty decent break for at least 7 to 10 days across Arizona and dry things out in Arizona, but most of New Mexico should stay relatively wet across the year. So you guys that haven't seen much rain in New Mexico this summer, you're going to see some. The thing is we still don't have that classic monsoon pattern. We just don't have it. We've not had it this year. The high has really been locked up in the Great Basin, and that's not really... It's a good location for Arizona, but it's not a decent location for New Mexico to be getting good rains. And I don't see that pattern setting up much, at least not right now, according to this model run. Let's go at 120 hours out now, and we'll take a look and see exactly what's going on here. This is for Monday, July 31st, the last day of July. You can currently see where the high pressure is located. We're starting to take on a little bit of a southwesterly wind here in Arizona that tends to bring slightly drier air into the state. But the high pressure is located over central Texas, and that is a decent location for getting at least some interesting weather across the location, especially for New Mexico. And we'll take moisture parameters in just a minute. We'll take a look at those. Let's go out a little bit further, see what we got going on. We'll go out to 156 hours. I don't want to go out much further than this. I will, just to show you guys the general pattern of what's expected across the area, but I don't want to go out too far. Okay, so let's take a look what we got going on here now. Can you guys see the troughing? Yeah, right there. This high pressure is not in a decent location to bring moisture to Arizona, but it is in a decent location to bring some moisture into southwestern New Mexico and parts of Albuquerque. It definitely looks like there's going to be some good moisture source around, okay? And this is for Tuesday, August 1st. And this is when the moisture is going to start tampering down in Arizona and really start to soak you guys in New Mexico. And we're going to go out a little bit further now. So some decent rains are looking probable for you guys in New Mexico here coming up. So no worries. You are going to get some rain, especially the first week of August, latter July here. Last week of July into the first 1 to 2 weeks of August looks decent for chances of rain. All right, high pressure located here is not good. If this model verifies, this is bringing a dry westerly flow to Arizona and a westerly flow to New Mexico. Now, that does not mean that New Mexico is going to be completely dry. We will still have some moisture coming in from the Gulf here, rotating up in through Arizona and parts of southwest New Mexico. But all of New Mexico at this point stands a decent chance at seeing some pretty good rains. Not widespread, but scattered in nature. But more widespread than we've been so far this summer. I'll tell you that for sure. Okay, so this is, what day is this here? Let's take a look and see what day this is. Again, this is out in time, so remember, these models can change. This is more than a week out now. We have to be very careful, but I'm just giving you a broad perspective of what models are saying. Okay, so here we go. This is August 3rd on a Thursday. Okay, and you saw where that high pressure was located. That's 198 hours. We're going to go to 228 hours now. And you can currently see where the high is going to be located. Let me elongate this a little bit for you. Okay, Now, if the high sets up over the Gulf of California, or the Baja Spur area, that's not a good area for anybody to really be getting rain. Okay, if this model were to verify, which I don't think it will, but if it does, this is going to bring a dry flow of air for all of the